know what time it is. It's time for another episode of the 7 and a Hook Podcast, the world's premier sports betting podcast. Your source for the best information and insight when it comes to sports wagering. We cover it all because you bet on it all. So let's head up to the studio and get this show rolling.
Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of the 7 and a Hook Podcast. I am Brooksie, the Irish Insider. Hey, hope everybody's having a great day. I hope everybody had a great weekend. It's Monday. It's time to hit the road. It's time to get rolling on this week's picks and plays. Man, I hope everybody had a chance to tune into this past weekend. We had a lot of winners in college basketball, NHL, and we also did some NBA. Tonight's agenda, we're going to talk a little bit of NBA, we're going to do a little NHL, and we're going to do a little college basketball. So, and I'm going to be joined tonight with my co-partner in crime, and that's going to be Jimmy D, one of our hosts, one of our 4 hosts now on 7 and a Hook Podcast. I'm going to be dialing him up soon on the 7 and a Hook Podcast hotline. So, hey, before we get rolling, again, thanks everybody tuning in. Anybody new to the show? Website's in front of you, so 7nahook.com. Check out all of our content. All of our past videos are there. You can email us, give us some feedback on the show, and check out all our socials. It's the number 7 and a Hook. That's on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and then obviously on the YouTube. Check out our channel, subscribe, 7 and a Hook Podcast. Okay, so I guess without further ado, we're going to get this show rolling. But before I do that, I'm going to dial up Jimmy D. Let's see here. There we go. And get him on the bat phone here. All right. Looks like we got connection. Hey, Jimmy D, you with us?
Hey, Patrick. How are you?
Hey, what's going on, my friend? It's Monday. Weekend is behind us. We got a full work week ahead of us. But you know what? We got some good games tonight. We got some good spotlight plays. I know you've got a couple hot ones we're going to talk about. But how was your weekend? Did you cash some tickets? Watch a little NASCAR? Watch a little NHL? A little NBA? What do you think?
I'll tell you what I did watch was I thought the Ncaa Basketball. What's some great games there.
Oh yeah.
I read somewhere. I don't know if it was ESPN, but the top 6 teams. All lost on the same day. Yes. It hadn't happened since the late 40s. Since Auburn, Purdue, Kansas, Kentucky, Gonzaga, and Arizona all lost. I mean, I don't think if you would bet on that, I don't know who would have won money in that, but I know I wouldn't have.
How about that 6-way parlay, man? That would have.
Exactly.
Wow. Yeah.
Exactly. And there's a little controversy. Gonzaga is still the number 1 ranked team today, and Arizona is still the number 2 ranked team today. Yep. So, but everybody, it's like a big picnic for March Madness. I mean, that's going to be exciting. I mean, because you're not going to know how, and that's just going to be a great March Madness.
Yeah, if you check out all the futures, I mean, there's no real clear favorite right now. Even the Vegas books who kind of know everything. I mean, I guess you could say, Gonzaga is considered the favorite, but they're still plus 400, Jimmy. There's no minus money favorites. You know what I mean? So they're basically, it's anybody's tournament at this point,
No, this isn't, the old days of UNLV in the 90s or the Duke team or the Connecticut teams or, North Carolina. This is, in my opinion, wide open. Anybody could probably win it. So that just makes it exciting, for college basketball fans all around.
Yeah, we're gonna do some future. Obviously the conference champions start next week. You know what I mean? And then the selection Sunday is March 13th. But upcoming towards that, we're gonna do some shows. We're gonna give there's some value on some of these teams here. So some of these teams that are 80-1, 90-1, 100-1. Don't shy away from them and we're going to talk about them in the upcoming shows. But teams like Arkansas, teams like you know what I mean, like don't be hating on them, okay? No. Because I think they were 80-1 last time we looked. They're a good basketball team, Jimmy D.
Yeah, And you look at Baylor. I know that
That's
they're
right.
defending champs, but they seem to be starting to hit their stride. They're not going to be an easy out. They're going to be they'll be coming for bear. So that could be another team that you keep your eye on as well.
Yeah, they got a lot of guys that returned from last year's championship team. So keep an eye on Baylor. So yeah, you're right. So all right, so we're going to talk a little bit of NCAA basketball as we get going, but we're gonna kick it off tonight with our fast break segment, and we're gonna do a little NBA. I got one spotlight play, and then Jimmy D's got one also. So I'm gonna take the lead here, and my spotlight play on the NBA card tonight got the Sacramento Kings on the road travel to take on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now the Kings favored by 5.5 in this spot as a road favorite. Points total set at 227. So if I look at the Kings, again, both of these teams very disappointing, Jimmy D. They're both at the bottom of each of their respective divisions. So really, neither team is playing for a lot right now. Unless you say playing for a lottery pick, they're definitely in that running. There's no doubt. But the Kings, 22-40 overall in the season, 7-22 on the road. Really, really poor. Like I said, they're last in the Pacific. You know, they're on a 4-game losing streak. They lost Saturday night at Denver. You know, everybody loses to Denver at this point, but it was 115, 110. De'Aaron Fox has been their bright spot. You and I were talking about him before we went on air. He's 22 points a game and 5 assists. That's pretty good for a point guard. You know what I mean? But he doesn't have much help. You know, OKC, not much better. 19, it might have been worse record. 19-41 on the season. They're 9-20 at home, so really not really protecting home turf, as we like to say. Now they're coming off an overtime win at Indiana, 129-125. That broke a 2-game losing streak for the Thunder. So now the teams, they've already met 3 times this year. Sacramento has won 2, and the Thunder have 1 win. What do I see tonight? Well, I don't see a lot. Okay, and I can't, as much as Oklahoma City, their bench is a little depleted tonight. They got a couple starters out. I just can't see laying 5.5, Jimmy D, with Sacramento. You know, this is a road game for them. They're on a 4-game losing streak. They've only won 7 games on the road this year. So I got to take the points. I got to take the home dog. So give me the 5.5 with the Thunder. As far as the points total, there's no reason to play defense. These teams are just going to be hucking and chucking 3-pointers all night. They're literally, like I said, they're playing for a lottery pick. So I'm going to look up. I'm going to go over the 227 in this game.
Yeah, that's a good. I like that pick. That's a good pick. There, solid pick.
Now, what do you got on your? You got a game on the NBA card tonight?
Yeah, I kind of like the San Antonio Spurs going to Memphis Grizzlies.
Yep.
One team's going one direction, the other team's going the other. Grizzlies are, a 3rd seed in the conference. San Antonio is 2 games out of the play-in, for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Last game though, San Antonio went to Miami. They only lost by 4 points, but they did that without DeJounte Murray. He had a sore ankle.
Yep.
And the Grizzlies, they won their game up at Chicago impressively. Jared Morant, he had 46 points. I think that was all over the news.
Yeah.
That was pretty impressive. With the Spurs, the players that I'm watching, DeJounte Murray, he's having an amazing year. His 5th year in the league. He's averaging about 21 points, 9.4 assists, and 8.5 rebounds a game. He's kind of the star that no one's really hearing about. Just a really good player. Like I said, it's his 5th year. He's had 12 triple-doubles this year. I really like him. Yeah. The other guy on the Spurs is Keldon Johnson. He's a wing. He averages about 16 points a year. And then their center, Ncaa Basketball, solid 14 points, 9 rebounds. And I think they gave up a lot, but the Spurs got back Josh Richardson from the Celtics. Yep. He's been solid off the bench. He chips in 10 points. They have played previously. Memphis beat them 2 other times previously this year. But I just think San Antonio they're been real competitive lately. The Grizzlies, players to watch. Obviously, the stud, Gerard Morant. He's averaging 27 points. 6 rebounds, six assists a game. The last game that they did play against San Antonio, he had 41 points, but Dejounte Murray for San Antonio had a triple-double. So that's gonna be something to really watch. Those two players going at it. Obviously the Grizzlies get Jaren Jackson, the power forward, solid 17 points, 6 rebounds a game, and they get the old veteran, the leader, one of the leaders of the team, Steve Adams, just a rugged guy. He chips in 7-10 rebounds a game. I think for Memphis to go where they want to go, they're going to have to get back Dylan Brooks. Dylan Brooks, he gives you about 18 points a game. He's been out with the bad ankle. So that, if they get him back, they'll be at the top of the game. I'm kind of going a little bit, you're going to look at this and question me, but I'm taking San Antonio plus the 8 and a hook. I just think this game is going to be pretty close. I think Dejounte Murray is going to go off in this game. We know about Ja Morant for Grizzlies.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what I'm taking. I am taking the over. The over is 237. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored in this game. And I just, a prop bet, I'm taking Dejounte Murray over 21 and a hook points minus the 115. I think he's going to have a big game tonight.
Oh, nice.
I think,
I like that.
I think, hearing, we've heard, he's probably heard all the news about, Morant and Chicago and the 46 points he had. So I think, and he had a game off against Miami. So I think he'll be ready to go. So that's my look at this game.
Yeah, I like that. Listen, I you know me, I'm an underdog. I like points, but I like your breakdown. That makes sense. Especially that night off. I think that's really going to help him tonight. And listen, Jimmy D, he may have 15 points at halftime. Okay, it could be one of those nights, and then all he needs is 2-3 pointers, and you're cashing that ticket. So that's a nice over. And
the other thing, I know Coach Pops. I know he's one more game regular season win. He ties the record for most wins NBA. But I know I was watching him at a press conference. And, he said that Dejounte Murray could have played against Miami with the ankle. They were just being overcautious. So that tells me he's going to be okay to go.
Yeah.
So I think he'll be solid. So
you know what? I'm gonna have to. I got the NBA ticket, so I'm gonna tune into that game later tonight because I think those two stars are gonna be trying to outdo each other every possession. So I like that. Good breakdown. All right, we're gonna stay on the hardwood, but we're gonna move to a little NCAA men's college basketball. And then I'm going to hand it back over to Jimmy D, and he's going to end. He's got a really nice NHL play for tonight. So I got one game I kind of penciled in tonight on the NCAA men's college basketball board, and that's San Diego State Aztecs on the road, favored by 1.5 at the Wyoming Cowboys. Now, points total set at 129 and a hook. All right. The Aztecs, they come into this game 18-7 overall. They're 10-4 in the Mountain West. That currently puts them in 4th position in the league. Now, they're winners. They're really on a nice streak, Jimmy D. They're winners 4 out of their last 5. Okay. Most recently, nice. It was an actual blowout, 77-52 over in-state rival San Jose State. Now, they're averaging 65 points a game. Their defense, one of the best in the nation, 56 points a game. Very stingy. Okay, they don't let you score. They will slow you down if need be. They're led by senior guard Matt Bradley, 16.5 points a game, 5 rebounds. That's again pretty good for a point guard. Okay, now the Wyoming Cowboys, they come into this game 23-5, really having a solid season. They're 12-3 overall. Again, Mountain West Conference also. Second place behind, I believe it's Boise State. Now, they're winners 2 out of their last 3. Again, playing some good ball. Most recently, Nevada, the Wolfpack, traveled to Wyoming and, got sent packing, 74-61. The Cowboys, averaging 75 points a game, letting up 65. So, average 10-point average win on the season. This is a team that likes to push the pace. All right, so this is going to be a battle, a team that likes to run with the Cowboys and a team that is going to try to slow it down tonight with the Aztecs. Now, the go-to guy for the Cowboys is their forward, Graham Ike. Almost, I think it's 21 points a game for this power forward, 10 rebounds a game. He's like a double-double every night, okay? Now, this is the first time these two teams have met this season. They were supposed to meet back in early January, but we were still going through some postponements because of COVID and whatever else. So this is the first time they're meeting tonight. Now, Jimmy D, you and I brought this game up to you before we went on air, okay? This is a nationally televised game. It's CBS Sports Network, okay? And the one thing I said to you is this is a tough trip for any team to go from the West Coast to Wyoming, right? You and I have both been to Wyoming. There's no easy way to get there, right? And this school is literally, it seems like it's in the middle of nowhere.
So it's a little colder too than California.
Just a tad. So
that's culture shock.
And Wyoming, they don't actually get much TV exposure, right? I mean, how many times can you say Wyoming was a nationally televised game of the night? This is it. This is their one game. Okay.
You think of football, Wyoming.
There you go.
Right, with Josh Allen and Logan Wilson,
there you
the linebacker for Cincinnati, right?
You don't think about them in basketball, but these guys, they're a sleeper. Okay. They're not a lock to get into the NCAA tournament yet. I mean, yes, they're second in the Mountain West, and they got the tournament coming. So, I mean, they can get a few more wins, and they'll probably get in. But this is the night because everybody's going to be watching, right?
Yeah.
So I like Wyoming in this spot, and they're getting 1.5 tonight. Okay. I just think that campus has penciled this game in all year. Okay. Yep. It's their one time to be on national TV. That place is going to be rocking, the Cowboys and the Cowgirls. So give me Wyoming getting the 1.5. And as far as the points total, set at 129.5. Again, throw anything. This is going to be a run and gun game. The Cowboys are going to try to score 100 tonight. I'm telling you. Okay, give me the over and give me the Cowboys getting 1.5.
I like it.
All right, before, and I know you got the NHL, and we're gonna get to that, and we're gonna close out the show. I'm gonna totally change gears here. What's your take? And I know they just did the draft last week on the USFL. Okay, now I'm not looking for a prediction. I'm not looking for who you think's gonna win or anything like that. What I want to know is, do you think this league has legs? And what I mean by that, is it going to get through year 1, and is it going to be here in year 3? And again, totally out of left field. I'm throwing this at you. What's your thoughts?
I'd be kind of shocked if it lasted long. The NFL, you have that almost every night of the week now, right? Thursday, Sunday, Monday, and then later in the year you get the weekends. What was the last league? XFL was the last league.
It was a couple years ago.
Vince McMahon that tried to make a run at the NFL. I just think the NFL is just too strong, Brooksie, to make a run of it. I just don't know. I think it'd be nice if the USL was a feeder league, right, to the NFL. You know what I mean? Almost like a AAA. I just don't see how they, I think the CFL is probably more interesting than USL, but I will watch a little bit of it. I'll check it out. I just don't see it being competitive with the NFL. I don't see it.
No, I don't either. See, I on it, and again, I'm biased because it's the industry you and I are in. Yeah. If it's good to bet on, and there's going to be lines on these games, okay?
Yeah.
And people dive into it. And, the wagering picks up. I mean, it has to be a decent amount of wagering. The league will make it. Okay? And I know that's selfish because this is what we do. We're in this industry. But if people don't bet on it, Jimmy D, it's not going to last.
The problem I see with them is I was watching some of the players. The players that were drafted were players that were barely making professional teams practice squads. Yep. I know they picked a few Patriot players I never even heard of. The original USFL, they had guys in it like Jim Kelly, Reggie White, Doug Flutie. They had some pretty top players that ended up being Hall of Famers. I just don't, But you're right. People will probably watch it, and I just don't know how long it'll last. Do they even even have a national? Do they even have a TV contract yet, or
yeah, they do. I don't know what. It's probably more like a TNT. You know what I mean? I don't think it's
right.
But yeah, I mean, it starts April 16th. All right,
Right.
And you know that's their first game, so they got like a 45 or 50 days here to get everybody into camp,
Right.
get everything situated. Listen, you and I both love football. Like, you know what I mean? I hope it works out because that'll mean football 12 months a year, literally.
Right.
Okay.
I
It just
like-
how good or bad the product is, right? That's what it's going to come down to.
I always wonder, why can't it be a feeder league? There's a lot of
I agree.
a lot of kids that that go out of high school, they go to college, and they're just not students. You know what I mean? That's just not their thing. But why couldn't you have a league? That is a feeder league like the USFL, where they're in there and they kind of move up to the professional league. Like AAA baseball, or you get the the Gatorade League or whatever it is in professional NBA. Maybe they could be something like that. I mean, the NFL does not have, they have college, right? The kids that come out of Alabama and these schools like that are ready for pros. But if you did have a kind of a feeder league, I don't, that could work.
I think it could. I really do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of good players that don't get drafted right into the NFL, and they just kind of give up because there's nowhere to go, right? So
right. There's kids in our Division II, the secondary Division I that are not getting drafted. There's only 7 rounds in the draft now, right? And then you have your free agents, and what do they do? They play what, 4 games now in the preseason? Some of these kids, they're not really getting a good shot.
No.
But if you have them on a team where they, an NFL can watch, you don't think a Bill Belichick would like to watch, a kid for, I don't know how long this USFL, 16 games, whatever they play in the USFL now, watch a kid week in and week out, say, he might have a shot here. You know what I mean? I'd look at it like that. I think that would be a good thing.
I do too. I like you said, I like your approach. You know what I mean? Feeder league, and then you know what? If it gets through year 1, maybe it gets through year 2. But I really think if people wager on it, it'll last. But I mean, the product has to be decent too. I'm not just saying bet just because you need something to do, but the product has to be pretty. I'm excited for it. I really am. I'm gonna start really looking into it in another couple weeks.
The NFL is the only professional team that doesn't have a feeder league to it.
That's right.
Hockey, basketball, baseball, they all got I call it feeder systems, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't, why would that be a bad thing? Now, I know the USFL's not looking at that now, but the players they drafted, to me, I didn't really see stars they were drafting. They seemed like they were drafting guys that, practice squad guys. So, I don't know. That's what I look at it. But I'll still watch it, check it out, see what they got.
I say, I love football. I hope it works. It'd be nice to, again, during baseball season. Well, hopefully we have baseball. Well, that's another topic for a different day. But during baseball season, it'd be nice to watch a football game every once in a while.
And I guarantee it, there will be some players in that USFL league that will make it to the pros.
I agree.
I don't know how many, but I guarantee there'll be a few.
I agree, 100%. All right, I kind of threw you a curveball there, but we'll do a USFL preview show in the weeks ahead. But all right, take us to the exits. You got NHL play tonight. You want to share?
Yeah, the late game, the Los Angeles Kings against the Boston Bruins. It's at LA. Both teams are really playing some good hockey lately. Bruins got a 4-game winning streak. They just beat San Jose 3-1 the other night. Kings got a 5-game winning streak. They beat the Islanders 5-2. Kings are second in the Pacific. Bruins are the top spot in the wild card. What's going on with this game? The Bruins' last 2 games they've played against the expansion team Seattle, and also I just mentioned San Jose. They've won both those games, obviously, but in neither game they were a little bit erratic. I didn't think they were real solid. The last game, the goalie there, Swayman, he didn't see a lot of action, but he came up with some big saves to preserve the 3-1 win. The plays to watch for the Bruins, Marchand, have to be
suspended,
on the dirty list there, suspension, but he's starting to play good. He had 3 points in a 3-1 win against San Jose. Brooksie is another guy who's starting to find the net. And the kid Ncaa McAvoy, He's probably a future Norris Trophy winner. Defense for the Bruins. He's been playing real solid in all three zones: physical, offense, defense. And then Patrice Bergeron. Seems like he's been in the league forever. At 36 years old, he's going to probably have a chance to win the Selke again, best defensive forward.
It's crazy.
And then, get your Pasternak at 28 goals. Who's going to start tonight for the Bruins? They've kind of been going back and forth between Swayman and Almach. I think Almach will probably start for them. I think Swayman's a better goalie, but Almach will probably start.
Yeah.
With the Kings, first player you think about is Kopitar. He's got over 50 points this year for the Kings. Adrian Kempe. He's got 25 goals, and you know how big of a fan I am of the defense. Drew Doughty.
Oh, yeah.
He's kind of a leader of the team. He's been there forever. The goaltending in LA, it's in the top half of the league, with Quick and Peterson. They'll probably play Quick tonight. We'll see how that goes. With this game, I'm taking the Kings plus the 120. I don't know how they're kind of the underdog here. Maybe somebody knows something that I don't, but that's who I'm taking. And then also doing the over 5 and a hook. I think that's going to be over on that. The one thing I would check people, their head coach here, Todd McLean, he's been in COVID protocol. He missed the last game.
That's right.
I would watch that game before I bet on it. I'd wait till the last minute, only because you don't want players that can't play because of COVID. You just don't know. I know we're all aware of that now, but when the head coach has it, you got to start to worry. That's my play on that game.
All right, no, I like it. It's funny. We were talking about the Kings, pre-show here. Kopitar.
Yeah.
He's been in the league. He's only 34 years old. Okay, he's been in the league, I think, since 2006, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, again, him and Bergeron seem like they've been here forever.
Yeah,
okay?
two old veterans, yeah. They're both really at the top of the game.
I know.
Definitely both of them are.
Yeah,
probably both going to I know Bergeron's definitely going to the Hall of Fame. I think Kopitar probably will too, I imagine.
Yeah, no, again, we're obviously Boston boys here in New England, so we've seen Bergeron since jump. You know what I mean? And he
came in the league at 18.
18 years old, yeah. And he made a difference right when he played. You know what I mean? He's been a really, really good player since day one.
When he came to the Bruins, he's a French Canadian player. He couldn't speak English. No. And now you watch him, he speaks better English than us. So what kind of guy, the drive he's got.
Yeah, no, he's and he's a class act too. You can't find anybody in any city that has anything bad to say about him. You know what I mean?
No, he's a class act. He's a good guy.
He is. All right, Jimmy D. We're gonna head to the exits here. So that's gonna put a wrap tonight, folks, on today's picks and plays. So we hope you take the picks and go cash some ticks. So listen, we got a couple NBA games we broke down. We looked at one NCAA men's basketball game, and Jimmy D just gave his NHL play of the day in our Light the Lamp segment. So we talked about it a couple weeks ago. We did our first remote show from the Boat House, or the Boat, I should say, in Drake, Massachusetts. We're talking to the ownerships there. We're probably going to be back there in another couple weeks. So there'll be an announcement coming soon. So we're looking forward to do our next remote show at the Boat in Drake, Massachusetts. So as far as tonight, we're going to head to the exits, like I said. So on behalf of everybody here at the 7 and a Hook podcast, Jimmy D, myself, Brooksie the Irish Insider, we hope everybody have a great day. And as we always say, may your bad beats be small and your big wins be monster.
Thanks again for tuning in to the 7 and a Hook podcast. Until next time, may your bad beats be small and your big wins be monster.